If you're like most people, you'd rather spend a month without Wi Fi than get into another dramatic situationship. So let's talk about what exactly a situationship is and how you are going to avoid them from now on and never waste your time again. Welcome back to Dating Intentionally. I'm Talia. I'm helping you navigate modern dating and new relationships with confidence so you can spend more time enjoying your journey and less time questioning every little thing. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more no nonsense, practical advice for dating with the intention of getting into a long term relationship. All right, today we're talking situationships. We're going to get into what they are, how to avoid them, and also how to get out of them, whether you're the person who wants less or the person who wants more. I'll also share my personal experiences with situationships at the end. All right, let's jump right in. Let's start with what a situationship is and what it isn't. A situationship is when you're romantically involved with someone, but the relationships and intentions are either not defined or not aligned, right? So you're basically seeing someone in a romantic context where you don't know where this relationship is heading and you're not talking about it, or one person wants it to be like a committed relationship and the other person doesn't. So you can't really move forward either way because you're not aligned. That's what a situationship is. So a situationship is not friends with benefits because friends with benefits is something that you mutually agree that you're doing, right? You're like, cool, we'll be friends and we'll have sex, we'll hook up. And that is how you are defining the relationship as friends with benefits. So that's not a situationship because it is defined. Situationships are undefined. And by the way, a situationship is also not when you're just getting to know someone if the intention is to date and end up in a relationship, right? If you are both on the same page about, hey, we both want to be in a long term relationship, but we're still getting to know each other and we're not there yet, that's also not a situationship. That's just dating. Situationships are usually messy and lack boundaries, communication, and just definition in general. So, if you ask me, they are a total waste of time and energy. There's no reason to get into a situationship. There's also no reason to keep one, especially if it's causing you stress. And it's usually causing stress to the person who wants more, the person who wants a committed relationship, because the person who wants less is getting their needs met while also not moving anything forward. And the person who wants more is sticking around hoping the person who wants less will change their mind. Here are some other common situationship scenarios. They want to hang out with you but don't want anything serious even though that you do, or vice versa, and you're all aware of this. Or they want to hang out but they're really busy with work or moving or school or whatever, and they can't really be fully there for you, right? So they're kind of acting like they're in a relationship with you, but they're not seeing you. They're not really there for you unless it's convenient for them, kind of a situationship at that point. They're trying to hang out with you, but they're also in the process of a breakup. They're still maybe sleeping with their ex, they're involved with their ex, maybe they're still living with their ex or like untangling their relationship. That's a recipe for a situationship right there. Basically, it's going to be anything where you're putting in energy but not getting a full relationship. The difference is that a relationship comes with stability, someone you can really depend on, and you know exactly where you stand. You know, you're feeling supported, and you don't really get that reliability and consistency in a situationship because there's no definition. You can't rely on them. You're not sure if they're really going to be there for you because you haven't gotten on the same page about what you're doing. So, should you avoid situationships? Yes, if you want a relationship. Yes, if you're trying to get married. Yes, if you are looking for a long term partner, whatever it is. Also, you should avoid it if you are not ready for a relationship, trying to date. But if you're not communicating that, you could end up basically dating someone who does want a relationship and then you're going to be leading them on in a way because they're under the impression that you also want a relationship because you haven't said that you don't. So if you're someone right now who is just not ready to be in a full blown relationship, that's fine. You need to communicate that. And if you can see that they're hurt by this, then you can be the one to walk away, even though that rarely happens, unfortunately. But I'm just putting it out there that you can end it if you can't give them what they're needing, what they're looking for. Situationships are different than casual dating in that when you're casually dating, you're both on the same page, you're both mutually agreeing to keep it casual. And that means that the relationship isn't going to be as serious. It's going to be maybe you see each other once a month. You're not going to really be meeting each other's friends. You're not going to be necessarily emotionally there for each other in the same way. There's kind of more distance in a casual relationship. And that's not bad if that's what you want. Like some people, that's what they prefer. And depending on the season of life that they're in, like that's fine. But again, it's different in a casual relationship. You're both agreeing to that setup. and doing that together versus situationship where you're not agreeing and you're on different pages. So if you are in a situationship right now and you are the person who wants more, you want commitment, you want the label, meeting the parents and the whole thing, here are some steps to take right now. To avoid wasting more of your time, you need to tell them exactly what you want. Don't ask, what are we? Don't ask, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Tell them, make a statement. Be like, I want a relationship. I'm in a point in my life where I'm ready emotionally and mentally for a committed relationship with someone. That's something I'm actively seeking. Yes, this means you're going to risk losing their companionship and everything, but it's worth it if they're not giving you what you need. Because if this is you, you're holding yourself back by staying in something where you're not getting what you fully want and need and deserve. You're basically choosing to live on scraps instead of getting the whole meal, which again, you deserve. And I get it, like being single, being alone may be scary to you, but it's not as bad as investing fully in a relationship with someone who won't make that same investment back, who won't commit to you, who won't match your energy, right? It's not really about matching their energy. It's not, can they match your energy? Someone who's serious about you and serious about committing to a relationship will be consistent and their actions will align with their words. They won't be vague or dodgy about it. Like you could have this conversation and they could be like, you know what, actually, I am willing to take a shot. I'm willing to take a chance and commit. Let's see how this goes. Or they might be like, you know what, that's not where I'm at right now. And then you have to decide if you're going to stay or go. And I really hope that you walk away from that because, again, they're probably not going to come around, especially if they're already getting their needs met because they're the person who wants less. And I know this sucks. The person who wants less usually has more control. If like they care less, they have more control. But you are in control too. You can leave. You don't need to settle for the crumbs. Okay, go leave and get yourself the full meal. Now, if you're the person in a situationship who wants less, so you're the person who doesn't want commitment and you're with someone who does, it would probably be best if you cut them loose because you're wasting their time, you're hurting them, and even if they say it's fine, or if you know or sense they want more, it is not fine. They're probably just trying to be strong to hold on to you. They're probably people pleasing their way through the relationship, just hoping you'll come around. And again, this is so rare. Like the people who want less rarely leave. But if you're listening to this and you want less, cut them loose. A question that often comes up about situationships that end is, can you still be friends? If you ask me, I suggest taking time to do no contact before trying to be friends, and that includes being cut off from social media, texting, the whole nine yards. If you try to move to a friendship too quickly, it can easily slip back into situationship vibes. You want it to be clean and defined, which is how you avoid situationships altogether. And being friends kind of allows for too much leeway when you're still in that healing phase, right? When you're still like having to get used to not talking to them and not seeing them. You need to take that time to heal for yourself, and it's best to do it without being in contact with them if you can. Of course, there are always exceptions, okay? But I think no contact temporarily is the way to go. You can be like, hey, I don't want to be in contact for 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And then you can come back and try and be friends. Can a situationship turn into a relationship? Anything is possible, okay? There are exceptions to every situation. I can't speak to this personally, but I'm sure in the comments you may have a story. I know lots of people have had their situationship turn into a relationship. And what I assume happens is that someone says, I want more, and the other person eventually agreed and gave it a real shot. And how do you avoid getting into a situationship in the first place? The biggest thing is knowing what you want, right? When you know exactly what you want and you're clear on that, I need you to have like tunnel vision, okay? And everything else is going to be ignored unless it aligns with what you want. And if the person you're seeing right now doesn't know what they want or their actions aren't aligning with their words, that's a sign that they're out. Okay, that you can move along and let that one go. Always focus on the facts and keep your needs at the forefront of your mind. I want to talk a little bit about my experience. So, I've had a few situationships. The most prominent one, like the dominating experience I've had, was with my college ex boyfriend. So, we dated like traditionally for a year. Then I broke up with him, and then we were basically on and off again for the rest of the time I was in college. We did try and get back together, and that didn't work. And like after that, I really wanted to commit to him, and he just wouldn't. And all I really remember is the pain. I did date other people, but we just kept hooking up. Like it would be the kind of thing where I'd go to a party with one person and like kind of ditch him and then meet up with my ex, at his dorm room or wherever and like we would hook up. Or like there were times where I literally would just bring in guys around to make him jealous. Again, I'm not proud of this. This is just what my 19, 20-year-old self thought was a good idea. I do not think that's what you should be doing. but that's what I was doing because I was hurt. We had a lot of mutual friends, but, by the end of college, I had learned to, distance myself from him, so I kind of was able to get over it, and I knew that if he said that he wanted to be with me, I would have said yes. That's the fucked up part about situationships. You shouldn't have to fight and cling so hard to the right person. There's no convincing the right person to be with you ever. And look, my college ex-boyfriend, great guy. We managed to be friends years later. We don't talk anymore now. The friendship just kind of faded, but we did have a friendship for a while and that was great. It was good to be friends with him. But I wish I can go back to my college self and just tell her to let him go because that was never going to pan out. And in my most recent dating journey when I was 29, I managed to avoid situationships completely because I knew exactly what I wanted. In the first stage, I was casually dating. That's all I wanted. And I really didn't see people for longer than a couple dates. And then the second stage was more about looking for that long term partner. And if someone said they didn't know if they wanted a relationship, that was not my person. I was able to cut them out and keep it moving. My best advice here is to take your time to figure out what you want, get clarity on that, so you can stop wasting time on people who don't know what they want. You deserve someone who can be fully present for you. And if you're not ready, that's okay. But be clear, be honest with yourself, be honest with other people. Focus on figuring out if you like them, not the other way around. You deserve someone who can be fully present for you, who can be ready to commit. And if they're not, that's okay. And if you're not ready, that's okay. But be clear, be honest with yourself, and keep your focus on what you want because you deserve that. So let me know what your thoughts are on situationships, what your experiences have been. I'd love to hear them in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more dating advice every week. And of course, don't miss the Dating Intentionally podcast for deeper dives into topics just like this. It's available on all major platforms. I'll see you next time.